Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, MELANIE Kelly, and my former blonde guest, who's now not blonde anymore.
No.
Anymore, not even a hint of blonde.
Now every so often, just a hint of white.
Olea Dexira,
I
hint
know,
of white.
but just little every so often. It actually quite excites me.
It does.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Wait
like, ooh,
until
look
you're
at all
my
that
age, and it
wisdom.
won't excite. Well, I don't seem to have a lot of wisdom, Emma.
I know whites for you.
Just a little bit. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Good.
You know, I'm fine. So anyway, as you already have noticed, I have Emma HOGG with me, who's a psychotherapist.
Yes.
And
a lifestyle strategist.
And a lifestyle strategist. And when I speak to Emma and I say, okay, what would you like to talk about? I like it that you kind of go with what comes to you. And that is also a way that I also work. You know, what comes to you, what feels good to discuss.
Yeah.
And in today's show, we're going to talk about why do we fall out of love. And in an age where I would say separations are on the rise rather than
For sure.
on the low.
Yeah.
And a lot of people seem to think that separations are on the rise because people have suddenly started giving up without trying. You know?
Yeah, no,
Now
I wouldn't fully subscribe to that.
No. Sometimes it is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes a relationship can be recuperated.
Yeah.
So, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. What are some symptoms of falling out of love? So if there are any listeners out there who are thinking, am I still in love with my partner? Am I still there because it's habitual? Is it is what I know? Is it because I'm scared of the unknown? Am I, because...
Well, I think that if you're having those questions, it might be good to look at them because it might already be telling you that maybe there are some things that you're not keen on in your relationship. Two, it's very normal to fall out of love with your partner. This is something that most, if not the majority of people experience, if not all people, at some point or another. It doesn't mean we don't love them. It just means you fall out, instead you're not in love.
Love with the person.
Right? But we've been taught that it's like you fall in love and then you slowly fall out of love and it just remains like that for the rest of your life. Like?
Yes.
But it doesn't have to be this way. You can fall in love again.
Over and
again,
over and over again.
And fall in love and then keep boosting it. But it's, it takes energy and in a good way. You have to put energy into it.
Both of you.
And exactly.
Because if there's one thing that I can't stand is this accepted idea that once you've been with somebody for a long time, it's normal that you don't want to have sex often. It's normal that you don't find them excited. Why, I've been with him for so many years, I don't get excited. I don't... what do you want us to talk about? And I don't accept that.
No, I don't accept that either. I don't.
Because, sorry, I was thinking and I was, breathing at the same time. And, and then I choked. Because this idea that, for example, let's talk about sex. Because this radio show is about sex. I think sex is one of the major indications that you are falling out of love. You are out of love with your partner.
Yeah, when the sex is like not as satisfying or as connected. Like if you kind of finish and get a feeling of like, oof.
We're not talking about the fact that you have to have sex very often because we all know that life comes in the way, babies come in the way, we're not talking about that.
It's quality, not quantity.
Exactly, we're talking about quality.
Yeah. But you asked me about the symptoms.
Yes.
I mean, symptoms, kind of like how would you notice? I think kind of if you look at your partner and you don't experience much excitement, like you don't experience excitement to be around them, you don't really look forward to being around, maybe you feel a sense of relief when they're not around, Or
maybe going out to eat and you're not really into what they have to say, or
Yeah.
or you don't look forward to sharing a meal
Yeah.
and quality time.
Yeah. And if you're having difficulty respecting your partner, that's a big one. If you don't respect the decisions that they make, this kind of thing is very difficult to be in love with somebody whose decisions you don't respect.
Oh, okay, in that way. Okay.
Yeah. So those are some of the ways that you can
Okay.
tell that you're falling out of love. It doesn't mean you don't love. You love, but you're not feeling in tune. You're not feeling passionate.
But let's make it clear that we are not saying that you should be in love with your partner all the time for so many years. We're actually saying that it kind of fluctuates.
Yeah.
It there are times when you feel really in love and some other times where maybe you want more time alone.
Well, the thing is, like, you are going to have discrepancies, right?
Yeah.
Because you're growing at different rates. You're two different human beings. You have different needs. So sometimes, you'll be growing in different rates than others, or you'll be growing in different directions. And then it's like until you find yourself again, there's going to be that period that is a bit disconnected. And it's not always clear what we need to do. Like, it's not like, oh, okay, I know what disconnected us and I know how to fix it. It takes time because it's messy and you're in it, So, kind of but there are ways of falling back in love. I think that, like, one of the reasons I wanted to speak about this today was because we all experience these periods of discrepancy in our relationship.
Yes.
We all go through periods where we wonder, are we going to be together forever? Like, can I love this person forever?
It's very normal to ask these questions.
100%. But the thing is that we don't usually speak about this stuff. I mean, there are the lucky
Why
few.
don't we?
Okay, there are the lucky few of us who have really good friendships, right?
Yes.
Really trusting relationships.
Yes.
And they can open up about this
Yes.
stuff, which is fantastic.
Yes.
The only thing is that sometimes the feedback they receive is, oh, but it's normal.
That's
Like, there's
the
nothing you
feedback
can
I
do.
hate.
Right? And that's
what I was trying to tell
helpful.
you in the beginning.
Exactly.
So you've been together for so many years, Mushov. Yeah,
Exactly.
And I don't accept
So you
that.
kind of lower your standard,
Yeah.
right? You're like, okay, you kind of settle.
You settle.
Yeah, you settle for what you don't want.
Exactly.
But
So we were saying that people don't talk about their relationship and their questions.
and I think another reason that we don't speak about it is shame, right? You don't want to be the only person at the dinner table, with your friends saying, actually, we're really struggling at the moment.
My relationship is not perfect. Like everybody else's relationship on Instagram.
Exactly. Hashtag couple goals, There's so many hashtag couple goals. Everybody
Yes.
looks so happy,
I know.
Everybody's making progress and, like, kicking ass. And, like, if you're not feeling in that space, it can be very difficult to be vulnerable and be like, actually, I'm going through a really difficult time with my partner right now.
I would bet anything that if you are at table and you actually say, and you're among friends, okay, not people who want to belittle you, etc., but real friends, and you actually admit that there are some struggles that you're going through in your relationship, I would say that 90% of everybody on that table
will open up
about having struggles within their relationships as well.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. For sure.
Okay, so what is the main contributing factor of falling out
Of love. Okay. So the main contributing factor is resentment. Okay, so resentment is when I allow somebody to take from me what I am not willing to give.
Meaning when you accept.
It's
when you accept a lot what the other person does and you don't like it, but you accept it. You take it.
Yeah. You might not even be aware you don't like it.
In fact, is the resentment that you're talking about a resentment which is you're not even conscious of?
It can be.
A resentment that
definitely.
becomes an unconscious resentment.
Yes, for sure. And in fact, sometimes you build resentment because there are limiting beliefs, right? For example, I am not allowed to say no to what I don't like, or I'll lose love, for example. Or so then you never say no to the person you love because you're scared of upsetting them, and if you upset them, then they might leave you or whatever, So because you have that limiting belief, you won't even acknowledge when you are upset about something, because it's not an option for you to say no.
When you succumb to what another person wants over what you want.
Yes.
And then you build
this emotion, which is resentment, right? It's a bit different to anger. Like it's very,
I get you.
It's very close
bitterness.
to anger. It's like
being bitter.
Yeah, it's like bitter. It's sort of in between, like bitterness and anger.
Yes, I understand you.
Yeah, it's like, so basically resentment is like the cancer of relationships.
Yes.
Like, and the more it gives, the more distance there ends up being between us. And the less, if I build resentment towards my partner, the less I am able to respect them as a human being.
And the possibility, the less time you want to spend around them.
Exactly.
The less you want to talk about it. Because most probably you won't even know that it's resentment that you've built. You just think it's antipathy or bugging you, or
it could come out
in many different
ways. And I think that sometimes because we want to have these perfect relationships, these good relationships, we don't even want to admit to ourselves that we're not happy, that there are things that aren't okay, you know? And then it's only when we finally have that honesty with ourselves that we can then bring it to our partners, you know? Because if you don't know what's happening with yourself, then you have no idea what to say yes or no to. Right? It's about boundaries.
Because sometimes you get into into a space where you accept so much that as you said, then you don't know what you're accepting because you want to accept, and what you're accepting because you have been
conditioned. You
I was going to trained. You're conditioned into accepting because you believe it is what you should do.
Exactly. It's your duty.
It's what you should do. And then you start building this resentment. And obviously, if you're not going to communicate that resentment, so if you're going to tell me, can you do this for me, or do this for me, or you expect me to do something for you, if I accept it and I don't tell you no, rather than, no, I really don't want to.
Yeah, that's not okay for me. Like, when you do that, it's not okay for me. When you do that, it really hurts me.
Yeah.
You know, it crosses the line for me. And the thing is, this is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? There are some issues that for me are core, and there are some issues that for you are core.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have the same, 20% that needs to be addressed, but that 20% is vital to the functioning of our relationship. It's going to be different for you, and it's going to be different for me. But we need to understand what really, really matters to our partners, but we can't understand it unless they understand it. So the work starts, as always, from within.
From you.
With
so
ourselves.
I am going to stop you there. We're going to go for a short break. So we're going to come back and we're going to continue talking about boundaries, and we're going to continue talking about the work that needs to start from within. Cool. # authenticity, yeah? Okay, so we're going to go for a couple of songs, and we're going to come right back. And we are back here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and let's talk about sex. And tonight, I am with Emma HOGG, and we are talking about why do we fall out of love. And if you missed the whole first segment of the show, then you can go on the Facebook page, which has the same name as the show. And there you can find all the clips, and if you have a friend who has opened up to you and told you that they think they're falling out of love with their partner, then maybe you should give this a shot, like look at it, watch it, rewatch it, listen to us every Thursday. So Emma, we were talking about how important within a relationship it is super, super important to create boundaries. What you accept and what you don't accept.
100%.
Okay. And how obviously everything needs to come from, because once you create the boundaries, but you need to know what your boundaries are, don't you?
Exactly. So this is where the individual work comes in, right? So we have to be in relationship with ourselves constantly.
Yeah.
Okay, one, we're always growing, we're always evolving, we're constantly having new experiences. So we need to be unpacking what we're experiencing so that we can create meaning out of it and integrate it into our sense of selves.
Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Yes. Okay. To me, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, like, from the different experiences we have, we learn new things about ourselves, and we learn what is okay for us and what's not okay for us. So if somebody treats you in a certain way and it really upsets you, you know that's not okay for you, right? But then you unpack it a bit, like through journaling or through therapy or through coaching or whatever, and then you see, okay, what happened there? What cross did it path? What path did it cross for you? And from that you gain meaning, and you know what you are no longer willing to accept in your life.
And this is not a very easy process, huh?
No, it's not.
It's not easy at all. No. Finding out what your boundaries are, finding out who you are, your authenticity, what is right for you, what is not right for you, what you want out of life, what you don't want to, what you are willing to live with, what you are willing to live without. It's not an easy process, and sometimes you need the balls to actually go through this process.
Because it can be, it's not that it's all painful, but there are moments that it can be quite painful when you, for example, realize that somebody you love dearly is... No, it's not that you wouldn't have realized it before. You would have realized they're doing something
but there's no awareness.
You would have known that they're doing something that's not okay for you, but you would make excuses for them.
Yes.
Because you want to stay in love with them. Yeah, you want to stay in love with them. You want that connection. Okay, but in reality, you don't stay in love with them, and you settle for connection instead of real love.
Yes.
Okay, because you are not being authentic and saying, this is not okay for me.
For me.
Okay, so you're sacrificing a part of yourself to stay with that person, and that's not love. So that process and becoming aware of this and being aware that to be authentic, you're going to have to say no to certain things. That can be quite painful, and it's brave. It's very, very brave to then take that to your partner, you know?
Because obviously, I'm sure that if you are with a partner who is expecting a yes, and all of a sudden you come with a no, there's gonna be consequences.
Exactly. They might resist it, they might argue it back, you know? Hopefully, you're on the same team. Hopefully you're playing on the same team.
Yep.
So your partner wants to understand and they want to grow with you. So even if they don't respond to you perfectly in that moment, eventually they come around and they work with you on it, right?
Or ask or be inquisitive about it. And if there is something that is not clear or they do not understand, you know, to have enough curiosity to want to say, okay, so... what next? How do we make this better? How do we make it? What is it that I am doing which is hurting you, which is upsetting you?
I want to fulfill your needs, right? Like, how can I do this in a way that I don't lose myself? Because that's another thing, right? We have certain needs that we, you know, need to be met by our partners so that we can have fulfilling relationships. But if your partner is not willing to give that, we need to be okay with that. It's not easy, and I'm not saying you're not going to have anger and frustration and sadness and pure rage at times, but
and resentment.
But there's a point where, you know, the most loving thing you can do is say, okay, I get it. This is something you can't give, and if I'm not willing to stay, then I'm not willing to stay, right? And that's a decision we need to make. That is a
decision you need to make. You need to make a decision to say, okay, if you are not willing to change that, then I need to decide whether I'm okay with that and I can stay. Exactly. Or maybe I'm not okay with that and I need to
leave.
Move on.
But the worst thing we can try to do is try to manipulate our partners to be different to who they really are. That makes no one happy. We don't get what we need. They don't get what they need. And essentially, every time we try to manipulate, so every time I try to get you to do what I want through, you know, emotionally blaming you or making you feel guilty or whatever.
It's going to keep coming back.
It's eroding the trust. Big time. And this is in any relationship, not just partner. It's mother-child. It's, you know, whatever. Manipulation erodes trust.
Yep.
the communication always has to be honest and the respecting that we are different and we can love each other even with that difference, even if that means we cannot be with each other, we respect the difference. That's love, that's trust. Yeah?
Yeah. I get you.
You get me?
I get you. Okay.
You with me? If you disagree with me,
yes,
tell me.
no. I completely agree with you, because I think that obviously, unfortunately, Emma, I see a lot of I see and listen and experience what I told you in the beginning, which hurts me a lot. This idea that this acceptance that once you've been with somebody for a long time, this acceptance that this is the way it is.
Yeah, well, it's a bullshit belief.
That it can't be changed.
Yeah.
That there's no other way out.
But there's beliefs about this kind of stuff
Yes.
in all areas of life,
that
right?
marriage
Like life is tough.
Yes,
or
marriage is a sacrifice.
there are only the rich people are assholes and everybody else is supposed to
Men
be poor.
are just like that.
Men are like that, exactly. These are sweeping beliefs, right?
Yes. Itfal jiġu għan-nisa. Did you know that?
No, what's that?
Meaning the children are for the mother. The children come for the mother.
Yeah.
There are all these sweeping statements that really they when I hear them, they make me very angry.
But this is, yeah.
And the grass is always greener on the other side. Oh, you know what you have, but you don't know what you will have. Or won't have if you don't leave. Oh, you know what? There's all you're gonna find people who are gonna and all these fears.
Yeah.
And all these beliefs that people have maybe chosen to believe because, let's face it, everybody's kept quiet.
I don't think people even realize they've chosen to believe. I think that they've just inherited, they've swallowed
ingrained.
it whole.
Yes, ingrained.
You know? Whereas when you start this process of self-development and you engage in it and you are a person who fully engages in self-development, you begin to see that actually you have choice over your beliefs, and you do not have to subscribe to the beliefs that everyone else subscribes
to believe. Yes.
You
Even
know?
when it comes to sex, Emma, I hear it over and over again when it comes to sex. Oh, we've been together for so long, sex as if we need sex, and I hear it, and there's no wanting to make it more exciting. There's no
or maybe
wanting.
they do want, but the belief is that it can't happen. So what do? They seek it elsewhere, or they decide to forget it and they get their thrills through, or they suppress their or they suppress their thrills through drinking or through overeating or whatever, kind of.
Yes. Even I'm gonna say this, and I but even the fact that a lot of women put on a lot of weight. Yeah. As time goes by, they kind of pile on the weight.
Some are men too.
And men as well. Yeah. And this idea of, I'm not 20 anymore, I don't need to impress anyone. I've heard it.
Yeah, I know.
Or but when I was young, I was slim, but now I'm not slim anymore. And it's like, it comes with the age, and I've had people telling me, wait until you're 30, how you start putting on weight. Yeah. And then wait until you're 35. Yeah. Wait until you're 40, and you know how you'll put on weight.
It's just inherited beliefs.
And they hurt me, these inherited beliefs.
You get upset that people subscribe to them.
Yes, I get very upset, because
life is
more beautiful than that.
And that's why you do this show.
Of course. I believe
to share this with people.
Yes. Yeah. I believe there's more to life than just subscribing. I love your word. Yeah. To just subscribing to these set beliefs that we were kind of, told.
Well, I choose the word subscribe because I think of it a lot like YouTube channels. You know, if you subscribe to a bunch of YouTube channels that are filling your mind with crap, you're gonna think crap. Yeah. But if you subscribe to YouTube channels that are informative and challenging and growthful, you're going to experience a completely different quality of life. And it's the same with our beliefs. And we have a choice over the beliefs that we subscribe to and the ones that we chuck.
So, the next hashtag that you should be, putting out there is not couple goals. Well, it should be. If you have couple goals, why not?
Vision,
but know yourself, being authentic to yourself, owning yourself, owning your life. And what I love that you wrote there, and we're going to mention it and then get back and touch it, is that to fall in love with your partner again, first of all, you need to
fall in love with yourself.
And that is Beautiful. So we're going to go for another short break with a couple of songs, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about falling in love with yourself. And welcome back to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and we are in our third and last segment. Time flies by, hey?
It really flies by.
Emma, you and I chat. Chat a lot, huh?
I know, but we both get so passionate
Yeah.
on the same topics.
Yeah.
That then it's just like do.
And sometimes I tell myself, oh my God, am I talking too much, you know? So, but it is a talk show because it's called Let's Talk About Sex. And if you've missed the first two parts of the show, where today we are talking about falling out of love, then go to the Facebook page of the same name of the show, and there you'll find the clips that we upload. So today, Emma, we are talking about falling out of love, a topic which is not spoken of very freely because everybody, we said, wants to
protect themselves from shame and humiliation.
Yes.
By pretending that, we have good relationships or they're enough, but that's like everybody else's, right?
Exactly. And then we talked about these ingrained beliefs that, now we've been together for so long, mux ovvja, that I don't find him attractive anymore. Like, no!
Yeah. No, it doesn't have to be that way.
Hey,
no.
but that one kills me. Anyway. So, very important that we have boundaries. Very important that we're authentic to what we want.
Yes.
And very important that if you want to fall in love with your partner again, the first thing to do is to fall in love with yourself.
Yes. So basically it's about understanding yourself, right? Know thyself. Yeah. And this is an ongoing process. I've heard some people say things like, I've been to therapy, like I've figured it out, I know myself. And it's like, yeah, okay, you know parts of yourself, that's great, fantastic, good work, yes, very good work.
Yeah.
The knowing ourselves, being in relationship with ourselves is constant.
It's lifelong.
It's lifelong.
It's lifelong.
It's like if you're in a relationship with someone else, you have to continuously put energy into it. If you have your own business, you have to continuously put energy into it. It's not something that you build, put to the side and say, okay, see you, I'm out, you can't do that with any relationship.
Yep.
Or they die, these relationships.
Yes. A very natural death.
Yes. So understanding ourselves, developing a relationship with ourselves is the same. It's continuous and it's growthful. So that's where it all starts. If you want to fall in love, fall back in love, or even fall in love, understand yourself first. Begin there. Don't expect to understand yourself in totality because that's impossible. But be willing to be in the process. Okay?
Yes.
So the second thing is to have the difficult conversations. Okay? Once you understand yourself, it is much easier to communicate to your partner what you need.
And what you don't want.
Because if you don't understand, you're going to know you're frustrated about something, but you don't have the words. You can't give it meaning, right? And then your partner's like, you're just acting crazy.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So start from understanding yourself, then you have the words, then you can communicate. Now, communicating does not always go beautifully.
No. And I will give you another ingrained idea. Men don't talk.
This might be a limiting belief, and we need to make sure that we don't spread that too much. It is true that most men are quieter, but there are many men who are challenging this belief, and they are deepening their relationships with themselves and communicating more. So, and high five to all those men because it is so important. Because without that, they cannot be present in their relationships.
Yes. And I think lately, if you look around, there are a lot of motivational speakers who are men.
Yeah.
But I think we come from an era and from a time, from a culture, wherever a man talks about his emotions, it's like it's shameful.
Yeah.
So throughout the years, we have had this idea that boys do not cry. Men do not talk about emotions.
Yeah.
So why then, mux ovvja, we came to an age where our men
aren't owning responsibility and speaking up.
Yes, of course.
Because they don't know themselves.
Yes.
You can't know yourself if you don't understand your emotions, right? But again, there are so many men, like I see so many men who are working on themselves and they're kick-ass men. Kick-ass men.
I am subscribed to a man. A man. I found him, I discovered him a few weeks ago in a moment where, I don't know, he was sent to me out of nowhere.
This
And
is a real live man? Or
yes,
you're
yes,
saying
a
like
man on
or
YouTube,
something?
a man on YouTube, called Adam Roa.
Okay.
And
I don't know him.
he fantastic, and he's doing these episodes, him and another 3 men.
Okay.
And you see him cry. And you see him talk about his emotions. And you see these 3 men who just sit down and meditate and talk
And
and
they
talk
share.
and talk. And if you're thinking, oh, Sissy, no way. I mean, one of them
Yeah.
was, his nickname was Sex Panther in Las Vegas. He was a top DJ in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So, you know, now he calls himself Soul Panther.
Cool.
You
cool.
know?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so
Yes.
and I started listening to him, and it made me think, like, yes, there are men out there who are in touch with their feelings.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
So if you sit down and have these difficult conversations, Emma, and your man just won't have it, what next?
This is where the problem starts, right? Because you're going to have the difficult conversations, which means you're going to be vulnerable. You're going to own responsibility. This is massive in relationships, right? You're going to own responsibility, which means when you own responsibility, you do not manipulate. But also you make yourself very vulnerable when you share and you're honest and you own responsibility. If your partner will not go there with you, will not own responsibility with you, then you have a reality to face, right?
Yep.
You're either going to be okay with a lower quality experience of love so that you can stay with this person, or maybe you are the kind of person who says, no way, this is not for me. You know, I want to experience love fully. And you choose to love and leave. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let the person you love go.
Because you're loving yourself over everybody else, and maybe also giving the other person a chance to be with somebody who
suits their needs
Suits their
better.
needs,
And I think what's important is that you're no longer trying to shake something out of them that they are
person.
not willing to give.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
that's where resentment
Yes.
will build. If your
Yes.
partner is trying to give you something that they're telling you, I cannot give you this.
Yeah.
And if you are telling them, okay,
I
but
need
I
it,
need this, then I need to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you have fallen out of love and you both want to fall back in love, okay, you are both working on this, you are both owning responsibility, you're going to have a completely different experience than if one of you is really working and the other one is like,
Not. Yeah.
peace out, like kind of, or just not interested or making up excuses or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, so the first step for falling back in love is understand yourself.
Yeah.
The second is have the difficult conversations. And the third is create a shared, beautiful vision for your marriage.
Where do you want this to go?
Exactly. So what kind of vision, like what kind of marriage do you want? What values do you want in your marriage? What rules do you want for your marriage? What kind of culture do you want to create, right? Because if you're in a marriage and you don't know what you're moving towards, this is the same with life, right? Individually. If we have nothing to move towards, we become depressed.
You become what I call, it's like lost in the system.
Exactly.
You don't know if you're coming, if you're going,
It's
what you're
action
doing.
without purpose.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is draining.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you have a sense of this is my life and this is my mission and this is what wakes me up in the morning and this is where I'm going, you wake up with energy and you go.
Yes. This
right?
is what I want to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's a life. That's passion. That's
Yes,
passion.
yes,
Now
yes.
imagine two people sharing a vision
Yep.
together, right? That is authentic.
Yeah.
It comes from both of their needs and both of their wants. How cool is that life going to be? Yeah?
Super cool.
Super cool. That's going to be a good life. So this is a fundamental step, is creating a shared vision, okay? And when you're creating your shared vision, you can think of, do you want children or not? What kind of home do you want to live in? Are you going to be traveling? Are you going to be mostly staying put? Or what kind of financial experience do you want?
It's a
education,
plan.
kind of what kind of life do you see? When you close your eyes and you see your relationship in 10 years' time, what do you see? Where do you see it? How do you see it? Who's there? How do you feel? Okay? Always picturing the ultimate vision.
Yep.
Right? Now, it's not enough to stop at the vision. Okay?
No.
I always take it further. I always give homework.
You have to. You
have to go to the strategy.
Yes.
And I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to wrap this up quick.
Yes, go.
Okay? So then you have to strategize together as a couple. Because remember,
Yes.
one person working hard, the other person flaking, you're going to go nowhere. Both engaged fully. And it's not about being married 50-50. Screw that. Mm-hmm. It's about each being in 100%.
I love
giving
that.
your all. Giving, I said, not getting. Giving
your all.
Yeah? Okay. So then we break it down into a strategy, right? So 1, your first step, communicate. First with yourself, then with your partner. 2, seek guidance. So let's say at the moment one of your challenges is financial,
for example.
Okay. And you are struggling. You're kind of going from paycheck to paycheck. You never have any money left over, and you're saying, oh my God, is this what life is going to be like? I want to experience more. I want more freedom. So you seek guidance. So for example, there's a great book for couples to align their values around finances. It's called Smart Couples Finish Rich.
Oh, love
Okay.
that. Smart couples finish rich.
So you seek guidance. There are, coaches, there are
YouTube
books,
channels.
there are
Oh,
YouTube
God,
channels.
there's
You
so
seek guidance. Now, it's not enough to seek guidance, okay? You are not going to meet anybody who has a magic wand and who's going to fix it for you. So when you read this book, for example, Smart Couples Finish Rich, you do the exercises.
Yeah, you need to take action.
You do all the exercises. So take action. You implement what you learn, no matter what you're learning. If it's communication, it's finances, it's intimacy, you implement what you learn, okay? The 4th and final tip is celebrate your achievements, okay? When we focus on the problem grows bigger. When we focus on the vision we want to create, this compelling vision, and we work as a team to create it, that grows bigger. And we get there. Now, we have to make our relationships a space of love and pleasure, because that's what people want to return to. This is what motivates people. So every time you achieve something, okay,
You celebrate
you
it.
celebrate it. You do the exercise on the first exercise on the book, you celebrate it. You set the target to do the next one, you do it, you celebrate it.
Together.
And
I think,
this will give you the momentum to keep going because it feels good.
yes, and I think that's one of the most, the togetherness needs to stay.
Yes.
It needs to be.
100%. There needs to be you, your partner, and the relationship. You can think of your relationship as a third entity.
Yes.
You, your partner, and you are both
in that
nourishing
structure.
this relationship.
Yeah. Emma, wow, thank you so much for that. I can see the passion when you were like, wow. But yes, you're very passionate about it. And it is also, you're a life goals strategist, You're a life I choose. You choose to live life in a joyful manner. And I know that is one of the things that you like talking about. And the thing is, if you're not happy in your relationship, then there's a lot of joy which gets taken away from you.
The quality of our relationships equals the quality of our lives.
Because you can learn about yourself as much as you want, but if you are in a relationship which is not satisfying you,
it's going to sap your energy.
Yes, you're not gonna be happy.
We go home to fill up.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to be around people who nourish you, not people who drain you.
Who drain you.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're at the end of the show. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I love discussing
Me
this with you
too,
because
me
you're
too.
equally passionate.
Me too. I
thank you.
am very much. So I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Okay, and
Okay.
we'll say good night to our viewers, and we hope that if they are falling out of love, then that we've helped them just a little bit.
Yes, and share this with whoever needs it.
Share the
Share.
love.
Sharing is caring. Love, love, love.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you, man.